I was on this Athens rooftop bar, Acropolis glowing in the dark like a screensaver, when overconfident dad in a windbreaker squints at the hill and goes, "So, that's the practice Parthenon, right? The real one's in London?" His kids just freeze like their brains blue-screened. The Greek bartender slowly puts down a glass and says, "No, sir, that's the original demo version." Dad nods, completely satisfied, because of course he is. And yeah, somewhere a geography teacher just woke up screaming for no reason. Santorini cliffside, sun melting into the sea, Instagram travel girl is doing lunges in a flowy dress for her followers. She points at the caldera and asks her boyfriend, "So, if this volcano explodes, do we surf the lava or what?" He's filming vertical, naturally, whispering, "Babe, that's so viral if it happens." The old Greek lady hanging laundry next door just stares like she's watching a deleted Darwin Award audition. And I swear, the volcano went quieter, out of pure second-hand embarrassment. Loud Texas guy at a Mykonos beach club taps the DJ booth, already sunburnt and proud. He points at the water, then at the White Houses and says, "So, where do y'all keep Mount Olympus? Is it like behind that hill?" The DJ pulls off one headphone and just blinks. Salt air, techno still pounding. "Sir, Olympus is on the mainland." Texas guy nods, pauses, and hits him with, "Right, but like, is there a shuttle?" Bro, I felt Socrates roll his eyes from somewhere under the dance floor. In Thessaloniki's Old Town Square, Wellness Karen is marching around with a reusable water bottle, looking personally offended by the cobblestones. She marches up to a kiosk guy and demands, "Can you tell your government to restore the original white on these ruins? They're very beige." The vendor just stares at her, like she just tried to return history without a receipt. His grandma quietly mutters something in Greek that I'm pretty sure translated to, "May Zeus unsubscribe her from Wi-Fi." And the way that woman looked at the stones, you'd think they failed a skincare routine. On a tiny street in a Cretan village, college bro is proudly clutching a phrase book like it's going to save him. He walks into a taverna, chest out, and confidently tells the old waiter, "Yamas, my dude, table for big spicy democracy, please." The whole room pauses, forks midair, olive oil literally dripping in slow motion. The waiter just nods, squeezes his eyes shut like he's buffering, and seats them anyway. Later he tells me, "I gave them the mildest salad, so freedom survives another day." At the Delphi archaeological site, business consultant is standing between marble columns, hands on hips, fully in optimization mode. He looks at the ruins and goes, "If you rebuilt this as a shopping complex, you could 5x foot traffic easy." His wife whispers, "Honey, this is where people asked oracles about destiny." He waves her off. "Exactly, you plug in an AI chatbot, monetize prophecy." A guide overhears, sighs, and says, "We tried that, sir. It predicted people like you." Up at a Meteora Monastery viewpoint, retired rich couple in matching pastel polos are squinting at the cliffside monasteries like it's some weird golf course. The husband says, "So they carried bricks up there without elevators?" His wife answers, "Maybe they had premium access donkeys?" A young monk nearby lets out the longest internal sigh I've ever seen on a human face. Then he gently says, "Things built for the soul don't come with shortcuts." Yeah, that shut them up faster than a market crash. At the Naxos bus station, backpack bro with a bandana and too much confidence is staring at the timetable like it offended him personally. He keeps asking the clerk, "But when does the bus to the real Greek village, like untouched by tourism, leave?" The clerk replies, "This bus goes to my village, sir." Bro leans in and goes, "Okay, but do you have like an extra authentic village behind that one?" The clerk just prints his ticket and mutters, "I hope the goats judge him loudly." In Hydra's Harbor Cafe, movie fanatic is pointing at the stone houses and the sea like he's storyboarding a Marvel spin-off. He tells his friend, "Bro, I swear this is where they filmed that Greek tragedy about the guy with the lightning sword." The waiter stops pouring coffee and asks, "You mean ancient mythology?" Movie guy snaps his fingers. "Yes, that one. The cinematic universe." The waiter just shrugs and says, "We called it real life here." On a coastal hiking trail in Corfu, Bargain Hunter is marching in flip-flops, complaining about the incline like the hill personally charged her resort fees. She sees a sign for a small chapel viewpoint and immediately asks the guide, "Is this included in the package or is it like premium sunset?" The guide blinks, totally confused, and says, "Ma'am, the view is free." She squints at the horizon and goes, "Nothing's ever free. There's always a catch." And right then, a seagull chose her hair as its Yelp review. Down in an Athens metro station, cruise tourist wearing a lanyard and panic is staring at the ticket machine like it's a final exam. He asks a random local, "If I tap my card, am I committing to something long-term? Like, is this a contract?" The local says, "No, it's just a ride into the city." The tourist shudders. "Feels like a gateway to socialism, man." Doors beep, people squeeze in, and he just stands there like the concept of public transit personally challenged his freedom. In a narrow alley of Rhodes's medieval old town, Patriot Uncle in an eagle t-shirt is looking around, suspicious. He spots the European Union flag next to the Greek one and mutters, "See? That's the problem. Too many logos. Nobody knows who's in charge." His niece whispers, "Uncle, it's just flags." A passing local smiles and says, "In Greece, we argue loudly but somehow still share coffee." Uncle frowns like cooperation physically hurts, then goes searching for a bar that serves freedom fries. At the Zakynthos Shipwreck Beach Overlook, Florida Man Variant is leaning way over the railing for a selfie. Sunglasses backwards, hat forwards, everything wrong. He tells his phone, "If I fall, it's fine. I'm insured, and the views are worth it." The crowd collectively inhales, watching his center of gravity negotiate with gravity itself. A local lifeguard strolls over, gently pulls him back by the backpack strap and says, "You can go viral without dying, you know." Even the waves sounded disappointed he didn't listen sooner. In a quiet courtyard on Patmos, TikTok travel expert is doing a whisper-style vlog about hidden monasteries your feed won't show you. She points at a centuries-old icon and whispers, "This mural gives like mystical cottagecore." A monk walks by slowly, clearly hearing every syllable. He pauses, smiles kindly, and says, "This cottage has been here for 1,000 years before your app, child." She nods, eyes wide, then immediately asks, "Do you think the Wi-Fi password is sacred too?" At the Temple of Poseidon in Sunion, honeymoon couple is posing for dramatic sunset photos, her veil nearly airborne. The groom looks at the sea and says, "Babe, imagine if Zeus photobombs us with, like, lightning." She giggles, "Tag him, maybe he shares it." Their Greek photographer lowers the camera, blinking slowly. "In our myths, when gods showed up, it was never for likes," he says. And for 1 second, they both look genuinely spooked, like an ancient notification might actually appear. Back at Skyathos ferry terminal, Complainer Dad is pacing with a rolling suitcase that clearly hates him. He storms up to the ticket window and goes, "I booked Greek island vibes, and nobody told me about delays, wind, and reality." The agent calmly explains, "The sea decides our schedule, sir." He throws his arms up. "In America, we'd sue the sea." The clerk just smiles and answers, "Here we just respect it, and bring snacks." At a Vikos Gorge lookout in Epirus, wellness influencer is holding a crystal up to the canyon like she's about to unlock DLC. She whispers to her camera, This Greek canyon is like my throat chakra's hometown. A hiker next to her quietly says, "This is one of the deepest gorges in the world." She beams and goes, "Yes! My content has never been deeper." The mountain breeze just hits her ring light and knocks it over, which honestly felt like editorial feedback from the universe. In a busy village market on Lesvos, Freedom Guy is upset there's a one-way walking lane between stalls. He raises his voice. "So you're telling me I have to walk in one direction?" The vendor replies, "It's so people don't bump into each other, my friend." Freedom Guy puffs his chest. "Back home, we zigzag wherever our hearts choose." A grandma lifts a tomato, holds it like a mic, and says, "Your heart can still choose kindness while following a line." I swear, the entire market gave her a standing ovation with their eyebrows. On an olive grove tour outside Kalamata, minimalist adventurer in all black linen is grilling the farmer about efficiency. He asks, "Have you tried optimizing your tree layout to maximize yield per step?" The farmer smiles slowly, hands stained with decades of harvests. "I walk slower," he says, "so I can talk to each tree." Adventurer stares, confused, like someone just suggested he hug his spreadsheet. And for once, his minimalist lifestyle had nothing to say back. In the Milos Sea Caves on a small boat, first-time traveler is filming everything, including his own fingers, obviously. He points at the cliffs and asks the captain, "So how much to rename this one after me on Google Maps?" The captain laughs, thinking it's a joke, but the guy keeps going. "I'm serious. I'll leave a 5-star review and everything." The captain just shakes his head and says, "These rocks already have names in stories you can't buy." The echo of that line followed us deeper into the cave than the sunlight did. Down in Athens' Plaka district, overconfident dad has returned, now hunting souvenirs with the focus of a man choosing a grill. He grabs a cheap plastic helmet and says, "If I wear this, do locals respect me more as a Spartan?" The shopkeeper raises one eyebrow so high it basically leaves his forehead. "We respect good listeners more than loud helmets," he replies. Dad laughs, sets the helmet down, and buys a fridge magnet that says, "I conquered Greece," which is exactly the opposite lesson. At a Paris yoga retreat center, Instagram travel girl is back on a mat facing the Aegean. The instructor calmly says, "Breathe in. Connect with the ancient silence." She whispers to her friend, "Do you think the silence here is sponsored?" When class ends, the instructor tells her, "Not everything needs an audience to exist." She nods thoughtfully, then immediately asks, "But if I don't post my healing, did I actually heal?" Over by the ancient stadium ruins in Olympia, loud Texas guy is standing on the starting line like he's about to challenge history. He yells, "So if I run a lap, do I become like mini legendary?" The guide shrugs. "You join many who tried before you." Texas guy squints, plants his feet, and takes off in the slowest jog I've seen since dial-up internet. When he stumbles across the finish, out of breath, the guide claps once and says, "Congratulations, sir. You just raced your ego." Finally, on a chalky-deaky beachside resort, college bro and his friends are planning their last night. One of them goes, "Dude, Greece is like a theme park for history, right?" Another adds, "Yeah, but with better salads and worse Wi-Fi." The bartender overhears, smiles, and says, "It's not a theme park, my friends. It's a home we're still living in." They go quiet for half a second, then immediately argue about which club to hit. And honestly, that's Greece according to clueless Americans. They come for the party, bump into something ancient, and accidentally learn one true thing before their flight.